All right, we are in the Big Apple 9-hole Cup. It's in Thursday's qualifying round in the rookie division. I'm in pro. I'm in my odd account, so I've been playing. I'm gonna play pro in my odd account in the 9-hole Cups and use it as a practice account in a regular tournament. So here we go. I practiced two of the holes. There was two of the holes I'm doing blind curl shots on, so I practiced them just so I could try and get them down. But the rest of the holes I haven't played. So we'll treat it like it's one-on-one, and we'll just go out there and play it. So hole number one. I have no idea with this pin placement what to do on this. I'm gonna take. I'm not sure if we're still in long iron from the Pro Tees. I think we might be in wood range. I'm gonna take this bag right here so I can take that Guardian just in case. I can do a backspin shot on it. We'll try it out. I think I'm gonna just take a Quasar. We'll try it. We'll see. We'll see what the deal is. We'll see if I have any game. Maybe blind. This is the even a blind squirrel can find a net. Maybe. I practiced hole number 2 and hole number 9 yesterday because I like to do blind curl shots on those and wanted to make sure I had a spot to start. I got pretty good success on hole number 9, but hole number 2, I still got some work to do. Still got some work. That needs to be higher up on that hill. 6.5, 7.15 rings. There's 5, 6, 7, 1, 5. Hitting it perfect. Just a little bit behind it. I set my side spin up on that wrong. I think I wanted to put right hand side spin on that so that it would, when it hit on the hill, it would stop and then roll straight down. If you put left hand side spin on it, it'll roll out with an arc and it'll roll away from the cup. I think I set that up wrong. I have to go look at it. I wasn't prepared. The pin placement in the new design for these par 3s blows. Because the old ones, I definitely had shots worked out for the old ones, at least in rookie. They were a little further back, so you had some options, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes for the round. I'm not going to be too concerned about the par 3s. What I'm really concerned about is the par 4s. If I can put myself in the right spot, because I think in pro, you can still put yourself in the same exact spot you'd be in a rookie, and you have the same shot going to the cup. And hole number 9 is a great opportunity to get an Albie. And you can put yourself in the same spot. The one par 5 is brutal. It's all dependent on the wind and what balls you have. I do have a couple of 5-power balls, but I don't have any topspin boost. I don't have anything like that. So the minimum score in this is 11 if you count that one hole as a birdie hole with an eagle opportunity. But if the wind's blowing right, you can turn that into an eagle hole. But I always like to go into it, even though we may have a hole that's difficult, you always want to go into it thinking the minimum score is minus 12. But in this tournament, it's probably minus 11. Hole number 2. Hole number 2. All right, this was the blind curl shot that I did. So in rookie, I take my center line. You can see this green line that runs right through here. This is my center line. And I spin the screen so that it's running straight along this transitional surface between the fairway and this rough peninsula. And I give myself 3 rings of separation, 4 rings of separation with my rock, so that if we can get the full picture here, I'm aiming I'm aiming off of this line, or excuse me, screwed that up. I'm aiming off of this line, and I'm out 3 rings. And so I'm trying to make up this distance so that I can just hit a max shot and roll through the center. Well, in pro, you're off right here. So yesterday I started off blue ring off of the transition between the rough and the fairway. And what I needed to be, I ended up in the sand. And then what I needed to be was white ring off so that I'm out more so that I can make up that distance. And I was using an APOC. An APOC and a power 3 ball. And I'm going to use a Kingmaker because side spin is definitely beneficial. Definitely. Now you can, I never show this shot when we're talking about this hole. I always talk about going through the center. But you can on this hole try and work it so that you can go this way. But I don't like this type of shot at all because it's a bounce trying to get through. And each one of these bounce areas is cupped, hilled. It has so much change in direction so that if you hit a little bit to the left here, your ball is going to take from normally, especially on a shot like this, if you had a little teeny bit of right hand curl on it, even if your first bounce was left, if you have a little bit of right hand curl on it, the ball's still going to end up going to the right because you put curl on it. But this hole, because of the terrain that's through all of these areas, if you hit a little bit off, if you hit a little bit out here on the flat, it's gonna start it off going in a direction that you weren't anticipating, not based off of your ball guide. I do not like this type of shot. I want to try and stay in the middle of this fairway. Hell, we got a pretty wide fairway here, except for where it chokes down here at the very end. And if you get caught in the sand and stuff down here at the end, you can recover. You want to make sure that if you fail down here. You don't really want to get into a fail situation up in this area, so that would be bad. That would be no freaking bueno. I'm going to take this bag right here. I'm going to take a Kingmaker. I got it. Big Apple, 9-hole cup. Hole number 2. Let's see if white ring off. I was 3 rings off yesterday, and I think I need to be... Now, I did hit a grate to the... I think I hit a grate to the right, so that didn't help. So if I pull out 2 more rings and do white ring off, that might actually be too much. But I'd rather over pull it and be too much. That'll tell me on the next round, hey, now you know where your limits are. If you're 3 rings, you're not going to make it. If you're 5 rings, you're not going to make it. You need to be somewhere in between. So I'm going to line my center grid up with that to line. I was right there before. Man, I think maybe 4 rings might just work. I'm going to do 4. We're going to put all of it on. I always do 10% on this, so I'm going to do 5, 6. So 5.6 divided by 1.5 is 3.73 rings. There's 373. Max. Hit it 1 ring grate to the right again. I think that would have been perfect. If I'd hit it perfect, I think it would have been right down the center. And I'm not trying to get like way down there. I'm just trying to get through the gap. If you get through the gap, you've got you should have a minimum sniper shot. Depending on how far you can get through there, you can start off on the green side. But usually if you're starting down at the bottom of the hill, it's a... Now, I swear to you that we should be taking wind off on this. Because this is why I believe that elevation is all bullshit. Because look at where I'm at versus the cup. I am definitely downhill. You should be taking wind off. I'm definitely a minimum club. Definitely. There's min. There's max. There's mid. 4.9 rings. I do not like hitting off of this hillside like this, I can tell you that. Shit can go seriously wrong. Five rings. 4.9. Who's counting? Hitting it perfect. I prefer to hit down there at the bottom of that hill and bounce it up, because you can get, when you're going up the hill like that, you can get your tail to flatten out and you can run it to the cup. But I actually overhit the drive just a little bit, and with that tailwind there wasn't enough room to work out the wind. That's okay. I see this hole right here is going to be, there's a lot of holes in this course. This whole course has been around since the first year the game came out. It was the Christmas holes for the Christmas Links tournament in 2017, and these holes are very technical. There's a lot of holes here that it's definitely one shot at a time. You have to achieve what you're looking for on your drive to put yourself in a position to go for the next shot. And if you don't, you could find yourself dropping a shot on a lot of holes in this game and on this course. Even though I'm just dinking around on this with this is definitely a hole that there's going to be a lot of people in the game that are going to drop a shot, just like my opponent. A pretty good portion of the bracket. You add up enough of those holes. There's several holes in this that can happen. You start adding those up and you get you got 20% of the bracket is going to fail on this hole. And you get another hole, 30% of the bracket is going to fail on that hole. And you start adding that shit up, and all of a sudden you got like 50-60% of the bracket that aren't really in contention if you just shoot the minimum score. That's why minimum score is so important. The scores overall have gone up, but minimum score is still, you have to get what's the minimum on that hole in order to put yourself in a position so that every shot you pick up counts. What you don't want to be doing is getting on a hole like this and dropping a shot. Ooh, they got it. Nice shot. Nice shot. That saved them. Saved them. They're happy. They are happy. All right, hole number 3. Hole number 3. Da-na-na-na. I don't even remember what hole number 3 is. Hole number 3. All right, this is the big badass one. Which way's the wind blowing? This is all about which way the wind's blowing and what kind of ball imagery you have. That wind's helpful, but from the Pro Tee, it's not super helpful. We'd like just pure tailwind. I don't have any top spin boost balls. The only 5-power ball I think I have in this account is an Apocalypse, or excuse me, a Berserker. I do have some top spin there, but I really don't know. And this might actually, what's better, a 5-power ball or 2 extra top spin? That's the question. What's better? A 5-power ball or 2 extra top spin? I gotta go with the 5-power ball. I'm gonna use my extra mile. If I had an Apox 7, I would definitely be using it. It would definitely help me out here because it's got the same top spin and that little extra. An Apox 7 would be nice, but I unfortunately have a 5. All right. Okay, hold on. I gotta be thinking second shot. If I actually achieved this miraculous goal, you got to be thinking second shot, because second shot is, I'm gonna need more than a sniper. What I'm gonna need is a big dog. Now, is it big dog or is it Guardian? Big dog has the top spin you're looking for. Not as much ball guide. I'm going to take a big dog. Because the whole deal is I'm not going to try and get greedy. If I actually made it over to the other side, the whole goal is just to get on the green. Don't get greedy. All right. We'll see if we can get anything going on this. I doubt it, but we will see. Let's think. Let's think here. Let's think. If I actually don't make it over. I can't believe that Tommy's saying it should be 0 on the third shot, but maybe. This is why anytime anybody starts spouting out the elevation stuff, it's all bullshit. Because I can guarantee you, if you take the 3-shot approach on this, you're definitely downhill from the cup. Why is it that when we're downhill, think about how many times in the game you're downhill, and there are some where you take wind off. But there are a bunch where you're downhill and you're still adding on wind. And when you're up, when you're downhill, you're adding on wind. But when the pin is uphill from where you're at, there are a few shots in the game where we're taking a little bit of wind off. But the majority of them, we're either not taking anything off or we're having to add wind, and it's uphill. That's why the elevation thing is just total BS. That was about as good as you can get on that. Nice shot. Nice shot. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Can I get out there? Shit, no. Fuck, I can't even get past the sand trap. Can I get past the sand trap? Maybe. There is a max overpower hook shot you can do from out in this area. I haven't practiced it in forever and a day. I want to be there. There's 5. It might be right in that area right there. 20. There's no way. Shit. There's 8. Put the forward wind back on. See if I can even get it out there. No way from the Pro Tees unless you got a topspin boost ball 5, and you got to have pure tailwind. And they brought the wrong second club. Well, they brought the wrong ball is the deal. Titan, the king of balls. I would set that shot up down there on the, so I didn't have to do max overpower going into that, and they still have the wind affecting them. Taking a big risk here that they got their first shot down, and then they ended up in a perfect spot, but that was a risky way to go at it. This is the thing I like about trying to go for it like that, is you can always recover and end up pretty much in the same spot that my opponent's in. 2, 4, 6, 8. That'd be 4 rings. And do 4 and a little. Just try and pop it out there. End up pretty close to where my opponent's at. He got a little bit of distance on me. Little. I don't like that angle to the cup. Might be able to do a rough bump from there, but the freaking rough is way down there in the deal. I'm going to have to use the backboard and go at it. I should be in short iron range. If they're in short iron with a Marlin, I should be, they're right at the max. I should be in short iron with a 5-power ball. And that'll be max short iron, and I'm hitting my... Didn't pull up any numbers for, do I have any numbers here for Hornet? Hornet with a power 5 ball is 0.9 per ring. With a Hornet, 7.1 divided by 0.9, 7.88 rings. Let's make sure I got enough room to work wind out. 7.88 rings. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if I can get even close. That was close. It was close. Taking big risks and still, like, I've played this hole enough that I know that even if you try, I hardly ever, I have in the past laid up there, but what I found is that if you try and go for it, who knows? Maybe you hit the rock, maybe you get lucky, maybe the wind goes down and blesses your ball and makes it go 70 yards farther or whatever, and you end up making it over. It's always a possibility. It's not a very good possibility, but it's always a possibility. But if you go for it and you don't make it and you're down there in the rough, you can't recover. Even if you're in that sand trap, if you're in the bottom part of that sand trap, you can't recover. It's not easy because you got that island in the middle and the course out there is all jacked up. But you can just lay it up down there and you still got a wood shot. If you brought the right club, even if you got into the sand trap here, what's screwy is this hill right here because it slopes down on every side and then it bowls up. So this terrain's all shit right here. You want to either get in front of it or try and hit here and then hit over it. But sometimes you may be in a spot like if you got caught in the sand where you couldn't get over this. If you brought the right club, like because we're not really, you could bring a big hitting wood. And so you could just lay it up right here and then you could take the shot that you were actually trying to get if you were trying to get through in one shot. It's very easy to recover there if you end up in the shed, so it's always worth going for it. And it's the risk versus reward. There's not much risk as far as I'm concerned. There was some risk doing that max overpower hook shot when you hadn't practiced it, so you didn't know exactly where to set the ball up. But I used to play that max overpower hook shot all the time, so I kind of had an idea. Kind of. All right. Now, with the old pin placement, I always did a rough bump here, but the other day I tried the rough bump here, and that shit does not work. Because you need a bigger side spin ball. There's a dip by the cup, so when you went to move the shot to get it hit the terrain and it moved the tail the wrong direction. So you can bounce it over from here and then bounce it up and run it up to the cup, or you can try a backspin shot. I'm gonna bring that same bag that's got the Guardian in it and a Grizzly, and I may just try and tap it up there, and I may backspin it. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm gonna bring. I want to switch that bag up before I forget. I'm gonna take that big dog out, put a sniper in, and I want to take that bag right there. And I'll still take a Quasar. Well, I should take this just in case. I'm gonna take a Katana, just for safety. Just for safety. Some of these greens there's so much movement around them. Like you could do a Guardian, try and backspin it up there. Where's my minimum club? Do max backspin and try and walk it down to the cup. There is a backboard here. So 6.1 rings. There's 5, 6.1. Isn't it perfect? So if I want to do that shot, because of the way it broke out there, I need to set it up more to the right. What's one of the benefits of having a thorn? It's one of the reasons why everybody likes a thorn when you're doing backspin, is because it's got such a great ball guide. Then when you put all the backspin on there, it creates a tail and you can see which way it's going to roll out. But when you have ball guide that's less than 4, it doesn't create that tail. And I think it might be 4 or 5 because the thorn's like 4.6 or something when it's maxed out. So you won't see which way it's rolling off. So you have to take a few shots to see which way it's rolling. You get a much better read with a thorn or something that's got that kind of ball guide in it. I think as far as backspin clubs go, the thorn's probably got better ball guide than any other club in the game. Look at how much movement's on that green. I will say, as far as maybe, it won't be the first time if I missed a putt on this hole. I missed a putt on this hole. I missed 2 putts in the final round, in the weekend round, and I still won. I shot a 31 and I missed 2 putts. I was on fire that weekend, and I missed 2 putts. I was on fire that weekend. Like I couldn't do no wrong except for miss putts. And it was that hole right there, and hole number, the first par 3 that we played. I missed I missed this, and I'd been making hole-in-ones on those all week long, and then I got into the weekend round and I missed the hole-in-one. I was a little pissed, but I came back and won. That's what counts. All right. Now I did this in rookie the other day. It's been a long time since I played this in pro. So I usually in rookie, your red line with a 2 power ball is like right in here, and you can shoot on this side of the tree. But I think in pro you've got to go from this side and go around the tree. I'm not sure if you can get out into this zone. Depends on which way the wind's going. Where I used to always want to hit was right here, because it gave you a pretty unimpeded view of the cup, and you had all of the green to work with. But with this new pin placement, the new pin placement's like right here, and so if you're down in this area when you're coming into it, there's a hill right here, so the hill's going up like this up to the cup, and it's kind of difficult. You want your bounce to be like right where that hill, or like right here, and it really jacks your shot up. So if you're over on this side of the course, pretty close to this rough, you can come at it and you have a much straighter shot where you're not dealing with the crotch of the hill. You're dealing with just the hill itself, and you can start at the bottom and then bounce yourself over the hill. So I really would like to try and get over to the other side, but I haven't. I got no practice on this. I'm gonna bring. And the other thing about this hole as well is this is a hole that I bring my Kingfisher on, because when I'm out in this area with a Hornet, I tend to be like, here's max and here's 3/4 and here's mid, and I tend to be more in like the 3/4 range, whereas when I bring out my Kingfisher, I tend to either be in max or, well, I think from this area I'd probably be in like mid with a 2 power ball. So if I bring out a 3 power ball with my Hornet, I have no idea where I'll be. I have no idea. I have no idea if I can even get to the spot. Let's set up a couple bags and see which one works. It's going to be one of these 2 bags right here. I'm gonna start off with the extra mile. Extra. Read all about it. But this bag right here might work as well. We'll start off with an extra mile and a Kingmaker. Now we could use a Titan. Nope. I got more Kingmakers. And they're just Kingmakers. They're not Titans. The king of balls. Do. See if I can get any kind of, let's see where their red line's at. That's where their red line is with a 3 power ball. And that wind blows. That wind blows and sucks. See how they hit on that hill, and they were going in a straight direction, but they hit on the side of that hill, and it immediately threw their ball to the left. Now they ended up with a great result there, but that's not what they were looking for. If I can get through that tree. Five. I'm gonna do 6, just because I can. I'm gonna lean just a little. Getting it perfect. It's not quite over to the other side that I was looking for, but I think I got a little bit. We'll have to see from my opponents. I might have got it. Did I get a little bit past it? I got a little bit past it. I did open the window up. See how my opponent's coming in from the side and where the hill is right there? Where they have to put on a bunch of side spin in order to get to it. You can see where it comes down to the bottom and it slopes off and it's going down towards the water, that crotch area right there. If you're a woodworker, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to try and get it where I can just go straight at it. You can see that hump that's there. If you can get past that, you can go pretty straight at the cup. 5.2. Where am I at? My Hornet. There's max. There's mid. There's mid. So I'm a mid Hornet. Divided by 1.3. 4.4. There's 4. Oh, fuck, that was 27,000 rings great to the left. It was at least 2. Would have been pretty close. It took a really weird bounce right there. You can't tell on a hole like this. There's so much movement on the green. You can't tell how close you would have been. But the only thing that ever gives you a read is a perfect. Some holes you can hit a great and you can at least get a little bit of a read, kind of a little bit like, hey, that was a little more, maybe I should have taken off or added on a little bit of wind. You can kind of get a read on it. You still don't know. But some of these greens with all of the movement on them, shit, you hit it one ring great to the left or the right and it hits a different side of the hill face and it goes off in a weird direction and it's 27 yards away. At least the way that Playdemic measures it always cracks me up because you can be right on the edge of the cup. Here's the cup and your ball is right here and they tell you that you're 0.25 yards away. Well, shit, a yard's 3 feet, so you're telling me I'm like 9 inches off. Okay, all right. This is me telling my wife that that's 9 inches, right? That's wrong. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. All right, this hole is going to be a little more difficult in rookie or in pro. Which way is the wind blowing? That wind's. I really don't want to use the wind. And let me look at it here. I might practice this hole once because this is a critical hole. You cannot. If you get in trouble down here on this side, you are SOL. There's a better word. It starts with an F and it ends with a K and ED. Okay. Star. You're in big ass trouble if you get caught up right in here. Okay, you could lay yourself up. You could put yourself in a good position to try and recover, but it's difficult. You can try and bounce yourself from here and get up off into this area and make it over. But what I really want to do is get bounce, did he bounce, did he bounce in the rough, third bounce, rough bump, and then bleed out, and there's a little teeny sign right there. I'm going to do plus 10 on the drive. But in rookie, from the rookie tees, if we bring out a 3 power ball, we can get that third bounce to get there. And I think you got to run all your top spin out, and then you can set it up so that you can get to that spot and then work the wind out. I think you actually pull back a little bit from the red line. But your red line's like right in this area. So you're getting bounce number 1, bounce number 2, bounce number 3, and you're doing the deal. Well, shit, from the Pro Tees, where our red line's going to be back in this area. So I don't know that we have enough topspin to get us so that we can see what it looks like. And we don't want to get caught up in that rough. So it might be one of those areas to bring out a bigger ball. Let's practice it once. Let's practice it once just so that we can see what we need. I use a practice token. Practice, practice, practice. And I don't really care if I time out. I'm more concerned about seeing if I can get my bounces in that area. And what I don't want to do is have to use any overpower, because shit, you're doing a third bounce rough bump. The last thing you want to be doing is overpower. Because if you didn't get everything absolutely right, and if you don't hit it absolutely perfect, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. I definitely don't think we can get to the same spot. So I'll have to do something strange. Okay, they got a 3 power ball. You can see where their shots are now. Shit, you can't even make it all the way to the end. And hitting to the end, and I tried this where I was just like hitting to the end. And I thought maybe if you could just get right down to the very tip, you'd have a pretty good shot coming in at it on the left hand or on the right hand side, and I was wrong. That's not true. This is a hole that a lot of people are going to fail on. They might be able to recover from there. Let's see where the... Okay, I can use the wind, so the wind's going to push me. There's 1, 2, 3. It's going to push me up into that zone. So it's going to push me up into here if I used all the wind. Let's bring out a Titan. Let's bring out a Titan. Let's do 7, 7. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to push all of the wind back in. And I just want to hit it straight forward. Oh, and I hit it great to the right, which is bad. Bounce number 1. I put my bounce number 2 in the rough. Damn it. Gotta hit that perfect. You would think here that you could use this upper tier to get over. It is difficult, and they're going to use the wind. Better put some curl on that, bro. And I don't think you need to do any overpower since you left the wind in. Yeah, you left the wind in and you put overpower on it. That's not good. Let's see if we can recover from here. This will be good information. And the likelihood is not very good. Okay, so the wind is going to push me a little. I might be able to, if I can get over into that, let's see, 7, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8. Put the wind back in. I'm going to lean just a little, try and bounce myself off the rock, and a little bit of overpower. Isn't it perfect? Yeah, you can recover from there. Now, I still got a shit ton of work to do, but you can recover from there. I could have got aggressive with that and tried to hit a max overpower shot, but really you want to just kind of, you don't want to end up, it's so easy in this game, and we all know the deal. You're in the rough, you go to the rough. You're in the sand, you go to the sand. You're in the rough, you go to the sand. You're in the sand, you go to the rough. And you're in one trap and you're in the next. And like, just get yourself back out on the fairway so you can give yourself a really decent shot to recover. Let's see what kind of shot I have from here, just in case I do epic fail in the round. Running on my top spin. There's max club right there. There's mid. .5 divided by 2.4. 3.15 rings. 3.12 rings. Where's 3, 1? Where did that put me? Yep, that's about where I'd have put it myself. Hitting it perfect. Hitting the flagpole. All right. So if I am in that shot and I have to recover, that's what I have to look forward to. All right. Now I could help myself out here. I don't think I have a big enough, I don't know, what I do have. I'm going to bring out one of these balls right here. That'll get me a little farther forward. I don't really want to waste all those balls playing shit like this. Could bring out just a regular 4-power ball. All right, let's try it. Oh, wrong ball. Wrong ball. I'm going to bring out this 4-power ball right here. Select it. Damn it. That'll help me if I do end up in the shit. That'll help me on the second shot. Okay. Okay. This is definitely one where the drive shot's different. If I brought out a 5-power ball, I'd probably be pretty similar to the rookie tee. Pretty similar. Opponent's got a 7-4 wind. This wind seems more side than tail. I think we were getting a little teeny bit more tailwind in the practice round. I've tried hitting over to that area, and if you can get down there to the tip on that side, you do have a shot at it. It's not as good as if you're down there off of where I'm trying to hit. But it's difficult down in the area that my opponent's trying to shoot to over there. It is. Come on. That looks like it might have some steam to it. There you go. There you go. There you go, bro. What do I need? I need about 6 miles an hour. 6.5. It's in that neighborhood. Push all that wind back in, which isn't much. A couple rings. A little teeny bit of overpower. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if I have enough oomph to get me over there. This is where I found out, this is where I'll find out that I needed to do a 20% adjustment instead of a 10. Note to self, do a 20% on the drive instead of a 10. Should have been 3.5 rings, and I think I did pretty close to 3.5 rings with a 10. With a 20, it would have been 4 rings. I didn't do 4. Perfect. Use the hill. All right. Do me that way. Get right up into that area. 5. There's 5. Put all the forward wind back in, which isn't a lot. Just a smidgen of overpower. Getting it perfect. Try and get me as close as possible. I'm a little closer there, so I should have a easier chip. That chip should be less affected by wind. I used a Firefly for a long time for that reason right there, as Firefly's got lots of topspin. It's not very accurate though. And with a Firefly, there's a lot of times with a rapier you can hit it left or right and it still goes in, but with a Firefly you hit it left or right and it could miss. You can see like with a rapier it would have still hit the flagpole there, but they came in on the left-hand side of the flagpole. It's not, I liked it though. I used it until I got a rapier. Now I did use a Inbringer for about half a minute. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Right where I aimed it. If wind would have been a factor, it would have pushed me over, but wind was not a factor. I was close enough I didn't think wind was a factor, but I was hedging my bet. It's a draw. All right. That hole is a little bit difficult. It's nice to know that you can recover. And it is worth bringing out possibly a bigger power ball so that if you do get in trouble, it's easier to recover. Hole number 7. Hole number 7. All right. All right. Now, traditionally, I always just kind of hit it through here and ended up in this zone, and then I used this backboard to bring me over onto the green and did a side spin. I use a big dog, and you could come at it. And I liked bringing a big dog on this because it gave you some distance options if you're a little short here. But you can't take that with a sniper. Or you can try and get aggressive and go over here, which is probably harder in pro. Much mo. I'm just going to lay it up. Which way is the wind blowing? Whew. Yeah, in that wind, I'm going to lay it up. I'm going to lay it up. I'm going to set up 2 bags. I'd really like to use my number 2 bag with a Titan, the king of balls. But if not, I can use my number 1 bag, or I can use my number 5. Let's see if we can get it done with a rock. I don't know that you can. I probably should just bring out, I'm going to try it with a rock. I don't know that you can get it done with a rock in pro. Hey, let's see if I can hit the right button. Continue. All right, I got enough practice tokens. Let's practice it one time. This is another one of those holes. I have no idea what the drive's going to do. I always tell people when you're playing a tournament, the first time you play the holes, this is why it's especially when we're playing a full tournament. You got Monday. Monday is basically a practice round. Like tank all your tank all. Like sometimes you hit it and you end up qualifying on Monday, but usually what you want to do is like use Monday as a practice round. And if you haven't played the holes before or played all of them, your first and only goal is to establish what clubs and balls you need to bring on each hole. Like, how are you going to attack this hole? Because it doesn't matter what numbers you think you might have for the second shot, because if that's not the spot that you're ultimately trying to get to, you can see, like, I suppose you could still go for it. I usually like to hit down into this zone with all my stuff. I'm kind of hesitant to put all that topspin on. You can see I'm going towards the sand, so I have to put a little bit of curl on it for flavor. There's 5, 6. I'm going to go all the way back to the red line. Put some curl on it for flavor to bring it back to the course. And I hit it one ring great to the right, which should not affect this shot at all. And I had plenty of room to. I put on just a little teeny bit too much curl, and I had room for all the topspin. And I probably should have switched this bag up and put in a big dog, but we'll see what a sniper looks like. They changed the pin so I think you can bounce over the sand trap up there and go straight at the pin. Dude, 5-4 is like 4 rings. It's 4-5 is 3. If you added on 10%, it'd be close to 6. That'd be like 4 rings. How many rings did you move it? Way too many. Whew. Got lucky with that. Close. Damn. There's Max. There's Min. So I'm at mid club. Eking at mid. So 5.2 divided by a 1 point. I'm just going to do 5.2. There's 5.2. Hitting it perfect. I added on 10%. It's 1.1. I added on 10. In the hole. In the hole. I'd like to get an eagle on the round. What are you thinking before it was practice? Practice, practice, practice. Now that's an interesting way to go at it. I think this hole is confusing. I think the normal pin placement is actually closer to the front than where it is right now. Closer to the front and to the right. Like more towards the middle. Because I've always used that hill, and that's a dangerous ass way to go at it, bud. Dangerous. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Hey, good luck. Good game. Good luck. All right. All right, we'll take the same shit. No place like home. No place like home. I go first. I can run all the top spin. Get down in there just a little. Right into that zone. White ring off. 6-3. There's 5, 6, 6, 5. Who's counting? I put that much curl on there before. I'm going to put just that much. Hitting it perfect this time. Rolling it out. Rolling it out. Now this is traditionally where I've always hit. I never, like, you can get over to the other side and get in the long iron range, but you usually got to bring out a little bit bigger stuff, and you got to take a risk that you can get through, because you're trying to get through that rough at the very end of your run, so it's kind of a crapshoot. And you got to get jiggy with it. And I typically will try and go from the right hand side like my opponent's doing and try and get it to go that way. Are they trying to blast it through against that wind? What are they doing? I'm amazed that this game has been out for as long as it is and people still don't use the wind ring method. It's like, what? And then they don't hit their shot because they moved 75 rings to the right, and they hit it 2 rings great to the right, and then they're all pissed off that they end up in the sand and stuff. Watch, am I going to get an emoji here? No emoji. 5.8. I'm just going to do a straight up wind adjustment. There's max. There's min. I'm kind of in between here. I'm closer to min. I'm going to do min. So it's 5.8 times 1.1 divided by 1.2. 5.31 rings. .31 rings. There's 5, 2.5, 3, 1. Exactly. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can get the same result. Ooh, close, close, close. I must have pulled it 3-2 instead of 3-1. Close. No cigar. Am I looking at hole number 9 as my only shot of recovery to get me to minimum, what I would consider minimum score of -12, even though it is a -11 course? I'm going to have to get the Albie on hole number 9. I suppose that's what I'll have to do. That's what I'm going to have to do. If I can put myself in the right spot on that hole. Get in the hole, bro. Don't try some big ass backspin shot. Shit, you got plenty of room there. And you're going against a massive headwind. The claw's like 2 per ring. I like a claw too. I played with a claw for a long time. The common clubs are great utility clubs. You can go out and you can figure out, like, maybe there is a better club for it because you need backspin or you need more topspin or you need, but they have all kinds of tools. They have topspin, they have backspin, they have curl, they have all kinds of stuff. Hole number 8, this last par 3. I'm sucky on the par 3s here. Okay, I couldn't find the right spot here. Like, I have a shot that I've done, and I'm not sure like what we do in pro versus rookie, but I have never really shot from down here at the bottom. I always tried to get over to the other side, but what I do here is a backspin shot where I start off over here. I do maximum backspin, maximum right hand side spin to try and get it to hit, bounce up the hill, and then roll straight down to the cup. I have hit a bunch from up at the top of the hill, but I'm not going to do that, especially with the new pin placement, because I think it's more like in this area. I like really love the old pin placement here. I'm going to it's got to be. And I do a 50% wind adjustment. With the old pin placement, I've made a ton of hole-in-ones with a 50% wind adjustment. I don't care what the book says. I don't care what anybody tells you. I've made a bunch of hole-in-ones with a 50% wind adjustment. Let's go back. Let's try and get the right bag here. That bag should work. Well, wait a second. Yeah, that bag will work. That bag will work. And this is the hardest wind angle to work out. Let's see what club we're in. I don't even know what club we're in. I'm going to take it with a Guardian. I'm sure. Yes. Maximum backspin, however much right-hand side spin you can get on. .5 times 5.8 is 8.7 divided by 1.1. Oh, it's a minimum club. 1.5, 5.8 rings. Oh, that worked out. Isn't it perfect? In rookie, I would say that I always have a great opportunity for hole-in-one on this hole, but here with this new pin placement and with the Grizzly, you get a ball guide that'll walk you all the way down to the cup, and with the, because it's got 4.4 ball guide versus 3.9, and that's a huge difference. Close. And on a hill like this, if you put that left-hand side spin on there, what'll happen is when it hits up there at the top, it'll roll down the hill, but it starts rolling left, and it'll circle instead of going in a straight line down the hill. So if you put on the right-hand side spin, it hits, it does all its backspin stuff, and it jumps to the right, and then when it starts going down the hill, it will roll straight down the hill. The course may throw it off trajectory, but it'll roll, it starts its going down the hill as opposed to doing an arc. So when you're in this area, if you do the backspin rolls up and then it comes up, and then you've got left-hand curl on there, the ball starts to do an arc like this, whereas if you have the right-hand side spin, it comes to a stop and then it rolls straight down the hill. Boom, birdie. Birdie. All right. This last hole is probably going to be my nemesis here because I've taken one shot on it and I feel pretty comfortable missing this hole. I'm going to take bag number 5 and a Kingmaker. Need the side spin. And I'm just going to play it. Do plus 10 on the drive. 1.1 times whatever the wind is divided by 1.5. And I think it's 2.5 topspin. Now with this wind, it might be like 2.25. It's 3 and it's 2. I'm gonna do 2.5. I'll risk it. We'll be risky. Times 5.1 divided by 1.5. 3.74 rings. 5 rings off. I've got my white ring off the transition on that side. 3.74 rings. There's 375. Max curl, no overpower. Isn't it perfect? Now it's all about whether I got the top spinner. Oh, and I hit the slide. That's one of the things on this particular course. This is the first course that ever came out in the game where we got that slide effect. Before, we never really had, that wasn't part of the dynamics of the game. But you can hit, if you're hitting down into a hollow where you're hitting like this into a hollow, and you get into a hollow spot and the ball's coming down like this. Instead of bouncing out, it'll slide. It slips, and then it loses all of its upward momentum, and it just slides across the course, and it transfers its energy from a bounce up to forward, and it just continues to slide, and you get this massive run. There's several other courses that have it after this came out, but this is the course. And then they went back and they redesigned, like they put those physics into several holes, and it became it's not necessarily a thing, but it definitely Kmart sucks. It became part of the game. I can still make this shot though. I have confidence. I'm just going to do a straight up shot. It's 5.3 divided by 2. 2.65 rings. There's 2, 6, 5. Exactly. Oh, fuck. That was 2 rings great to the left. That was not perfect. And I gave myself a long putt. And you're all thinking, long putt? Shit, that's not a long putt, dude. No, that's a long putt. You either get good at long putts or get good at hitting closer. And I'm better at hitting closer. I don't like long putts. That's unfortunate I hit that slide, because that was right through the gut. That's a blind curl shot. We do max overpower hook shots, but like those blind curls on a lot of holes, people are trying to I have your opponents looking at what you're doing, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Barely in the hole. I don't like it where you have to pull to the side and you're shooting at an angle for a putt. I like to be squared up with my shot, and that's why those putts throw me off. There you have it, minus 11. What a crappy round. I didn't get where I wanted on a couple of shots, had to recover. This one and the other par 5, I had to hit out of the rough, and I was able to recover. I don't really count the first par 5 because I hit out of the rough there all the time. Yeah, it's easy to recover. Did give myself a couple looks. There you have it. That should qualify me into the weekend round. I think really, if you can shoot a 12, if you can pick one shot up and shoot the minimum score of minus 12, you give yourself at least a hunt. You're in the hunt. You're in the hunt. That dog will hunt. And we do have several opportunities on the par 4s. The par 4s have always been my focus in the game, of trying to pick up a shot on the par 4s, and I think we do have some opportunities. And that last par 3, I do like of all of the other 2 par 3s are kind of, but that last par 3, I think we do still have a shot on it. Still have a shot, maybe. There you have it. That's the pro from the Big Apple 9-hole Cup. No practice, no nothing. Just went out there and played it. Thanks for watching.